The laugh echoes through Providence Municipal Court. Not nervous, not polite. Mocking Chelsea Vandermeer, 25 years old, 6 million TikTok followers, throws her head back and laughs at Judge Frank Caprio like he just told a joke at brunch. Judge Caprio stops mid-sentence. He's been explaining the severity of the charges. Chelsea laughs again, covering her mouth with manicured fingers, Louis Vuitton bracelets jangling. She leans toward her attorney, whispers something, giggles. The courtroom goes silent. Judge Caprio sets down his reading glasses, slowly, deliberately. He folds his hands on the bench. 10 seconds pass. 15. Chelsea finally notices everyone staring. Her smile fades. Miss Vandermeer, did I say something amusing? She shifts in her Valentino heels. No, Your Honor, this whole thing is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Judge Caprio repeats the word without inflection. You find your charges ridiculous? Yeah. It's blown way out of proportion. My followers know I didn't mean anything by it. Judge Caprio nods slowly. He opens the case file, 312 pages. He doesn't speak. He reads the first page, then the second. The silence stretches. Chelsea glances at her attorney, corporate lawyer Preston Vale from Clark and Madison. He's staring straight ahead, jaw tight. Finally, Judge Caprio looks up. Miss Lewis, read the charges. Court Clerk Deborah Lewis stands, voice clear and formal. Case 2024 CR 8831, State of Rhode Island versus Chelsea Marie Vandermeer. Charges: criminal mischief, trespassing, reckless endangerment, inciting a riot, obstruction of justice, and assault on a protected historic site. Subscribe if you're tired of influencers who think views equal immunity. Chelsea rolls her eyes. Actually rolls them. In open court. Her attorney closes his eyes briefly, like he's praying for patience. Judge Caprio watches this. Miss Vandermeer, how do you plead? Not guilty, this is literally cancel culture. People are just jealous of my platform. Your platform? Judge Caprio sets the file down. Let's talk about your platform. How many followers did you say you have? 6.2 million on TikTok, 3.8 on Instagram, 1.5 on YouTube. And what kind of content do you create? Chelsea brightens, like she's been asked her favorite question. Lifestyle content. Fashion, travel, luxury experiences. I show my followers how to live their best lives. I'm an entrepreneur. I have brand partnerships with Miss Vandermeer. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through her pitch. I asked what you create, not who pays you. What did you create on the night of September 28th? Her smile falters. That was content for my followers. An experience. An experience that resulted in $340,000 in property damage, 4 people hospitalized, and the evacuation of a national historic landmark. Walk me through this experience. Chelsea glances at Preston. He nods slightly. She faces the judge. I was creating a video about living fearlessly, pushing boundaries. My followers love when I do extreme challenges. What was the challenge? Breaking into the Breakers mansion after hours and throwing a party. The courtroom murmurs. Judge Caprio raises a hand. Silence. You broke into the Breakers, a 70-room mansion built in 1895, designated a National Historic Landmark in 1994, owned by the Preservation Society of Newport County. You broke into this irreplaceable piece of American history. For a video. It's not like I damaged anything important. Judge Caprio picks up a document. According to the Preservation Society's damage assessment, you and approximately 200 uninvited guests caused the following: 17 broken windows, estimated repair cost $48,000. Graffiti on marble walls in the Great Hall, restoration cost $89,000. Stolen or damaged period furniture and artifacts, replacement value $127,000. Champagne spilled on a hand-woven Persian rug from 1894, irreparable damage, insured value $76,000. He continues reading. Fire damage to the music room from sparklers, repair cost $52,000. Broken balustrade on the grand staircase, carved Italian marble, restoration cost $61,000. And someone spray-painted "Chelsea was here" on a wall in the billiard room. That wall is covered in original leather imported from Cordoba, Spain in 1895. The entire panel must be replaced. Cost $94,000. Chelsea's face pales. I didn't do all of that. Other people, you invited them. You promoted the event on your platform for 3 days before it happened. You posted the location. You told your followers, rules are for boring people. You live-streamed yourself breaking a window to enter. You filmed yourself pouring champagne on antique furniture. And when security arrived, you told your followers to make content, not apologies. They did. 4 security guards were injured trying to control your mob. Judge Coprio sets down the report. Miss Vandermeer, you didn't create content. You created a crime scene. Chelsea's attorney stands. Your Honor, my client deeply regrets. Sit down, Mr. Vale. Your client just laughed in my courtroom. She doesn't regret anything yet. Preston sits. Prosecutor, call your first witness. Assistant District Attorney Naomi Grant stands. The state calls Randall Pierce, Director of Security for the Preservation Society of Newport County. A man in his 60s approaches the stand. Grey hair, weathered face, slight limp. He's sworn in. Mr. Pierce, how long have you worked for the Preservation Society? 23 years. I've been Director of Security for the last 11. Were you on duty the night of September 28th? Yes, I was conducting routine patrol of the breaker's property when I received an alert from our perimeter sensors at 10:47 p.m. What did that alert indicate? Breach on the south side of the property. I responded immediately and found approximately 30 individuals climbing over the wrought iron fence. More were streaming in through a section where the fence had been cut. What did you do? I called Newport Police and activated our emergency response protocol. I approached the individuals entering and identified myself as security. I was ignored. Several people filmed me on their phones while laughing. One person pushed me aside. I'm 64 years old. I fell. Were you injured? Sprained wrist, bruised hip. I was treated at Newport Hospital and released the same night. Naomi Grant nods. What happened after you fell? I retreated to my security vehicle and waited for police backup while monitoring the situation via our security cameras. By 11:15 p.m., I estimated over 200 people had entered the mansion. The cameras showed them dancing, drinking, destroying property. One camera captured someone starting a fire with sparklers in the music room. Another showed people taking antique items as souvenirs. Did you identify who organized this? Pierce points at Chelsea. She did. She was live streaming from inside the Great Hall. I watched on my phone while waiting for backup. She was standing on a $200,000 Louis XV settee, telling her followers this was the most epic mansion party ever. People were commenting, asking for the address. She gave it. More people kept arriving. When did police arrive? 11:32 p.m. It took another 40 minutes to clear the property. 4 of my security staff were injured in the process. One was hit with a champagne bottle. Another was knocked downstairs. The third was bitten. The fourth had his radio stolen. Naomi picks up a tablet. Mr. Pierce, is this the live stream Miss Vandermeer broadcast that night? Yes. Your Honor, the state would like to enter this video into evidence and play it for the court. Judge Coprio nods. Proceed. The screen flickers on. Chelsea's face fills the frame, phone held high, mansion chandelier glittering behind her. The video quality is crystal clear. Her voice is excited, breathless. Oh my God, guys, we actually did it. We're inside the breakers. This place is insane. She spins the camera, showing the Great Hall. Marble everywhere, gilded ceilings, priceless art. People everywhere, drinking, dancing, taking selfies. This is what living fearlessly looks like. No rules, no limits. If you're in Newport, get here now. Drop a pin in the comments if you need the address. She laughs that same mocking laugh. Security can't stop all of us. The camera swings. Someone spray paints a wall. Chelsea cheers. Yes, make your mark. This is our moment. She climbs onto the settee, standing on cushions that survived 130 years before tonight. Rules are for boring people. Life is for living. Who's with me? The crowd roars. Someone lights sparklers. Fire reflects in gilded mirrors. The screen goes black. The courtroom is silent. Chelsea is staring at her hands. Judge Coprio removes his glasses. Miss Vandermeer, you watched that video before today? Yes. Did you delete it from your social media? My lawyer told me to. But you didn't. Why? Silence. Because it had 17 million views. Because it gained you 200,000 new followers. Because outrage is profitable. Judge Coprio opens another document. According to the prosecution's report, you earned approximately $340,000 from that video through ad revenue, sponsorships, and the surge in followers who joined your paid subscription tier. You made money destroying a national historic landmark. Chelsea's voice is small. I donated some of it. You donated $5,000 to a charity after earning $340,000 from a crime. That's not charity, Miss Vandermeer. That's a tax deduction. Preston Vale stands. Your Honor, my client is willing to pay full restitution for all damages. I'm sure she is, Mr. Vale. She just made $250,000 from this stunt. But this isn't about money. This is about consequences. Judge Coprio turns to Chelsea. You laughed when I read your charges. You found them ridiculous. Let me tell you what I find ridiculous. He picks up a photo. This is Isabella Stewart Gardner. She was born in 1840. She was an art collector, philanthropist, and preservationist. She spent her life protecting beautiful things so future generations could experience them. The Breakers was built by people who believed in permanence, in legacy, in beauty that transcends individual lives. He sets down the photo. You believed in views. You stood on furniture older than your great-grandparents and told your followers to make their mark on history. They did. With spray paint and champagne and fire. You turned a sacred piece of American heritage into a backdrop for your content. And when security tried to stop you, you told people to overwhelm them. 4 people were injured because you needed engagement. Chelsea is crying now, mascara running. Stand up. She stands, shaking. Based on your live stream confession, security footage, damage assessments, and witness testimony, I find you guilty on all charges. Criminal mischief, trespassing, reckless endangerment, inciting a riot, obstruction, and assault on a protected historic site. Her breathing quickens. Preston scribbles notes frantically. Sentencing. You will pay full restitution to the Preservation Society, $340,000 for property damage, plus $120,000 for security costs and lost revenue during repairs. You will surrender all earnings from the video, merchandise, and the 200,000 followers gained from this incident. $340,000 to be donated to historic preservation organizations. Chelsea gasps. That's everything I made. It's everything you stole. I'm not finished. 3 years probation. During that time, you are banned from all Preservation Society properties in Rhode Island. You are banned from creating content at any historic site, museum, or protected landmark nationwide. Any violation results in immediate incarceration. Judge Coprio pauses. Additionally, you will complete 2,000 hours of community service with the Preservation Society, assisting with restoration work you caused. You will document this service, not for your followers, for this court, and you will create a public service announcement explaining what you did, why it was wrong, and the value of historic preservation. It will be distributed to every school in Rhode Island. Preston stands. Your Honor, my client's career depends on social media. Her career is destroying things for attention. She can find a new one. Judge Coprio's voice is final. Here's what makes this historic, Mr. Vale. I'm recommending to Congress that vandalism of national historic landmarks carry mandatory minimum sentences of 5 years. I'm recommending that social media platforms be held liable when influencers use their services to organize criminal activity. And I'm recommending enhanced penalties for anyone who profits from documenting their own crimes. He looks at Chelsea. These reforms will be called the Breakers Protection Act. Your video, your laugh, your statement that rules are for boring people will be shown in every congressional hearing. You wanted to make history. Congratulations. You did. Chelsea is sobbing. Finally, you laughed at this court. You found your charges ridiculous. So here's something that isn't ridiculous. If you violate any term of your probation, if you create content at any protected site, if you profit from this incident in any way, I will sentence you to 5 years in the adult correctional institutions. Do you understand? Yes, Your Honor. I can't hear you. Yes, Your Honor. She's shaking, barely standing. Your community service begins Monday at 7 a.m. Report to the Breakers. Mr. Pierce will be your supervisor. The same man you laughed at while he was injured will teach you how to repair what you destroyed. Don't be late. If you believe influencers who profit from crimes should lose those profits, subscribe to Order in the Court. Week 1. Monday, 6:54 a.m. Chelsea stands outside the Breakers in jeans and a plain t-shirt, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. Randall Pierce meets her at the service entrance. "You're early. Good. Come inside." The mansion is quiet. No crowds, no music. Just the echo of their footsteps on marble. Pierce leads her to the great hall. The spray paint is still visible on the walls, faint but permanent until restoration is complete. "You'll start here, scrubbing graffiti. We use special solvents that won't damage the original marble. It's delicate work, takes hours per square foot." Chelsea kneels with a brush and bucket. Her hands blister after 2 hours. Her back aches after 4. She doesn't complain. Pierce watches from across the room, reading incident reports, occasionally glancing her way. Week 3. Chelsea has learned the name of every damaged piece: the Persian rug in the morning room, the Louis XV settee in the Great Hall, the Cordoba leather in the billiard room. She assists restoration specialists, handing them tools, holding pieces steady while they work. They don't talk to her beyond instructions. One specialist, Maria Santos, finally speaks. "I've been restoring historic sites for 30 years. I've seen earthquakes do less damage than you did in 3 hours. Chelsea's eyes fill. "I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix 130-year-old leather. Week 7. Chelsea's hands are calloused. She's learned to mix mortar, measure gold leaf, identify period-appropriate materials. She's stopped checking her phone. Her follower count has dropped to 4 million. Her Instagram is flooded with hate comments. She hasn't posted in 50 days. Randall Pierce finds her alone in the music room, staring at the fire damage. "You're thinking about the sparklers." "I told them to do it. I cheered them on." "Why?" "Because it looked good on camera. Because chaos gets engagement. Because I thought if something was boring to me, I could make it interesting by destroying it." She wipes her eyes. "I was wrong." "Yes, you were." Week 12. Chelsea submits her public service announcement script to the court. It's rejected. Too focused on her redemption, not enough on the harm. She writes it again. Rejected. Too vague about consequences. Third attempt. "My name is Chelsea Vandermeer. 3 months ago, I broke into the Breakers mansion and caused $340,000 in damage for a TikTok video. I thought rules didn't apply to me because I had followers. I was wrong. The Breakers is 130 years old. It survived the Great Depression, 2 world wars, and countless storms. It survived everything except me and my need for content. I destroyed things that can never be fully replaced. I injured people who dedicated their lives to protecting history. I did it for views, for money, for attention. And I laughed when the judge read my charges because I thought I was untouchable. I wasn't. Historic sites aren't backdrops. Museums aren't props. Preservation isn't boring. It's how we remember who we were so we can decide who we want to be. I forgot that. It cost me everything I thought mattered. If you're an influencer, content isn't worth destroying history. If you're a follower, don't support people who break things for engagement. And if you're thinking about doing something like I did, don't. You'll regret it immediately. I did. The script is approved. The PSA is filmed at the Breakers, showing Chelsea scrubbing walls, repairing furniture, working alongside restoration specialists. No filters, no editing, no glamour. It airs statewide. Within 48 hours, 8 million views. Month 18. Chelsea has completed 1,200 of 2,000 required service hours. The Preservation Society offers her a paid position as Youth Education Coordinator. She accepts, continues her community service on weekends. She creates curriculum about historic preservation for Rhode Island schools. She doesn't do it for content. She does it because she finally understands what she destroyed. Her TikTok account still exists but hasn't been updated in a year. She posts occasionally on Instagram, only about preservation work. No ads, no sponsorships, no luxury content. Her follower count, 1.2 million. Mostly people who want to watch redemption instead of destruction. Judge Coprio's recommended reforms are pending in Congress. The Breakers Protection Act has bipartisan support. Vandalism of national historic landmarks will carry mandatory 5-year sentences. Social media platforms will face fines when their services are used to organize criminal destruction of protected sites. Profiting from documented crimes will result in asset forfeiture. Chelsea's laugh, her live stream, her statement that rules are for boring people are shown in every congressional hearing. Representatives cite her case as proof that internet fame without accountability destroys more than property. It destroys understanding of what matters. Year 3. Final hearing. Chelsea stands at the same table where she laughed 3 years ago. She completed all 2,000 service hours, paid full restitution, created a PSA viewed by 12 million people, hasn't violated probation once. Judge Coprio reviews her completion report. Miss Vandermeer, Randall Pierce submitted a letter to this court. He says you're the hardest working volunteer the Preservation Society has ever had. He says you've learned more about restoration in 3 years than most people learn in a decade. He recommends your probation be closed successfully. Chelsea nods, silent. Do you still think your charges were ridiculous? No, Your Honor. I think I was ridiculous. I thought attention was the same as importance. It's not. The breakers will be standing long after my TikTok account is deleted. I destroyed something permanent for something temporary. That's not ridiculous. It's tragic. What are you doing now? I'm Youth Education Coordinator for the Preservation Society. I teach middle schoolers about why history matters. I take them to sites I used to think were boring. I show them my PSA and tell them I'm the villain. I answer their questions honestly. Judge Coprio stands. Your probation is complete. Your record will reflect successful completion. But Miss Vandermeer, understand this. You laughed at this court. You found justice ridiculous. You got extremely lucky that I sentenced you to education instead of incarceration. Not everyone gets that chance. I know, Your Honor. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank Randall Pierce. Thank Maria Santos. Thank every person at the Preservation Society who chose to teach you instead of hating you. And never ever laugh at consequences again. I won't. Chelsea walks out of the courthouse. No cameras, no followers filming. Just her walking to her car, driving to the breakers, starting her shift teaching 8th graders why the past matters. She laughed at Judge Coprio once. She regretted it immediately. And she'll spend the rest of her life proving she learned the lesson. Should influencers who organize criminal activity for content face permanent platform bans? Tell us below.